Fragrantica can be said to be the Wikipedia page of fragrances with all of the accuracy of a Wikipedia page. It is often used by, well, some really cool, intelligent individuals, but is also utilized by bloggers and Redditors. That's right. Many people use Fragrantica are like that weird Uncle Ken that you invite for Christmas dinner, but no one really wants to sit next to him. Not only that, Fragrantica is a place that you can go review fragrances and try to steer people in the direction of either buying or staying away. I can safely say that out of all of the times Fragrantica has steered me right, there have been 4 times Fragrantica has steered me wrong. They are often wrong. In fact, the only time that an individual can be so wrong and still go back and keep doing what they were doing is if one is a weatherman. Now, this isn't to say Fragrantica is 100% garbage. In fact, I use it almost daily. And there are some good stuff there. But today, we are going to be going over the Fragrantica Reader's Choice Awards, which is why I've been dressed for this momentous occasion. Let's see what old Uncle Ken has decided. The 2024 winners are Best Women's Fragrance goes to Goddess Burberry. I can't say I've ever tried it. I guess I can do that next time I'm in Ulta. Number 2, Devotion. 3, Guidance. 4, L'Eau Papier. Deptyque, what a name. 5, Valaya. Oh, Parfums de Marly. 6, Black Opium over Red. And 7, L'Interdit. Eau de Parfum Rouge. My favorite fragrance for women is probably going to be very different than women's favorite fragrance for women. They often are. My favorite fragrance, women's fragrance, Black Opium over Red, L'Interdit, the original, not Rouge, although Rouge is fine, and Libre Intense. Those are my favorite. I would put Libre Intense as number 1, but I do admit this is not my area of expertise. And try as I may, I am not a woman, and I don't plan on becoming one. So definitely just let them have their favorites. I feel like that's fair. Okay. Next, men's fragrance. I'm assuming best men's fragrance. And this is 2024, but it doesn't have to be a 2024 fragrance, I don't think. I think it's like they vote on. It's like 2 million people, but I call BS on that. Can't even get 2 million people to vote in a state's election, let alone on fragrances. Anyways, let's keep going. The winner, Best Men's Fragrance, Altair, by Parfums de Marly. Yes, I'm not offended by that. It's a little weird for me, and I don't know why there's like iris laying next to it. What's going on with that picture? There's iris next to it. Oh, there's iris next to every picture. It was next to the women's one too. I love this because I'm a gourmand fanboy, and Altair's great. It's rich, it's complex. It's not a compliment getter, in my experience. I just wore it yesterday though, and it was great. Loved it. I love the fragrance. Is it the best men's fragrance of 2024? I'm not going to argue with it. Let's see what number 2 is. Le Male Elixir. I'm not a huge fan of Le Male, so that definitely wouldn't have made the top. L'Homme Ideal Parfum. I don't care for Guerlain, so that would not have made the top. Oud Maracuja. What? There's that many people out there who want an oud and leather fragrance for almost $400? Okay. 5, Born in Roma Intense. Yeah, It's okay. It's a good fragrance. Don't get me wrong. It's not for every occasion. I learned out this the hard way. I wore it in winter, and it really was not great for me. 6 Aqua di Gio Parfum. I don't like Aqua di Gio Parfum. I don't understand why they discontinued the Profumo, and to me it doesn't smell anything like the Profumo. And I think they're idiots. 7 is bottled Absolute, which probably should be higher, I would think, but I don't have a huge problem with this list. It's fine. And then for those interested, 8 is Pacific Chill by Louis Vuitton. I've heard good things. It's way out of my price range on what I think fragrances, what I'd be willing to spend on it. 9 is myself EDP, and 10 is Boss Bottled Elixir. Wonderful fragrances as well. So, yeah, I don't really have a beef with that one. That's okay. I like that. Okay. The next is Best Unisex Fragrance. Number 1 is Kamra Kuhwa. So, this, I'm sure, sent some heads spinning. I'm sure some people turned into that little chick from The Exorcist when they saw this. There's a lot of people out there who hate clones, who hate Middle Eastern fragrance houses, who think that this is just a clone of Angel Share. So I'm sure a lot of snobs out there got triggered by this. I love Kuhua, and that's great. I think it should be number 1. Number 2 is Altair. 3 is Tobacco Honey. 4 is Low Papier Diptyque. Apparently I need to smell this one. I don't know. 5 is Pacific Chill. Again. 6 is Ani X. I don't get it. Ani X is a more citrusy version of Ani. I much prefer Ani, the original, but I'll give them that. 7 is a more cafe. I would definitely say that is a unisex fragrance, but I would think there would be some others that would come above it. And then, yeah, we got 8, 9, and 10. We have Old Fashioned by Killian. 9 is Veni Havan, Cor de Oud, Les Indomitables. 10 is Harad Tower Perfumes. I don't know what those are. The best unisex fragrances. I mean, Born in Roma Intense could be unisex, and I guess that's about it. I don't have a problem with that. Not that it matters what I think. Who cares what I think, but best niche fragrance. Okay, this is where I start having a problem. I start having a big problem with this one. Really? Okay, first off, you already said that Altair is the best men's fragrance. Then you said Altair is the second best unisex fragrance. And now Altair doesn't even get it on the best niche fragrance? Really? So is Parfums de Marly a design house now? That makes no sense. Okay. That's oud. The two most divisive scents notes are oud. People hate oud. I don't know why. I mean, I don't love it, but and leather. And you have the winner as a oud and leather fragrance. Really? $350 oud and leather fragrance. Number 2 is Ani X. 3 is Veni Havan. 4 is Narcotic Delight. I don't like Initio, so I wouldn't have put that there. 5 is Rabbit Zoologist. I've never heard of that. 6, Ingenious Ginger. Ingenious Ginger. 7, Harad Tower. What are these? Where did you find these things? These aren't niche. I mean, they are niche, but these aren't just niche. These are like old Uncle Ken brewing, doing some homebrew experiments in his bathroom. These are that niche. That makes no sense to me. That's idiotic. That is just stupid. That Altair would get number one, then number two, and then doesn't even place in the top 10. Whatever. Okay, moving on. Oh, I guess I should say what my favorite. I mean, I think Altair should win if it won the other two categories. I don't know why it wouldn't. I definitely don't understand why Oud Maracuja would win. That's crazy. Okay. Favorite women's fragrance. Men's favorite women's fragrance. Libre Intense. How predictable am I? It's just good, man. I liked Libre a lot. And Libre Intense just builds on, makes it better. It's a really good fragrance. Number 2 is Talina. 3 is Angel Share. That is not a women's fragrance. So I'm surprised to see that. It's a unisex fragrance. Definitely can be worn by women, but that's interesting that that's not on best unisex fragrance, but it is on men's favorite women's fragrance. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Hypnotic by Dior. Black Opium. Libre Le Parfum. And Coco Mademoiselle. L'Entité. I would have added L'Entité, but other than that, I'm happy with that. Women's favorite men's fragrance. Cool. Okay, number 1, Dior Home Intense. Dior Home Intense is an example of a very simple, basic fragrance done well. And fragrances don't have to be complex. You don't have to have 2 frogs braiding each other's hair on a bed of iris on the top of a blood orange while singing in the moonlight. It's like these niche fragrances. They get a little wild, and it doesn't have to be that way. It can be simple, it can be basic, and it can be done well. So, and again, this is another one of those areas where I'm like, this is for women's favorite men's fragrance, so I'm not gonna touch that. Like, I'll let the women have their say. I do wonder though, like, how were they? What would stop me as a man being like, I'm gonna vote for women's favorite on men? I don't know. Number 2 is Bleu de Chanel, which is an awful fragrance. It's a great fragrance with the worst performance and projection of any fragrance I have. You have a 3 Tobacco Vanille, which is a $400 fragrance that has clones of $25 that are just as good. You have Terre d'Hermès. I haven't had that much experience with that one. Stronger With You Intensely is okay, but there's a lot of better fragrances out there that have the same vibes. Jazz Club is a weird one. I like the fragrance. I did not anticipate women saying that they like that though. And then 7, Altair. What's even weirder is that if you go back to, I'm so hung up on this Altair thing, because if you go back to unisex, Altair is labeled as a men's fragrance. And as a men's fragrance, it gets second in best unisex fragrance, but it doesn't even place for best niche fragrance. It's incredible. I mean, unless they're just saying fragrances that came out. No, they're not. They can't be saying that because Ani X came out in 2023. That was just, y'all really messed up there, Fragrantica, because I know Fragrantica gives you selections. I think you can write in, but who's going to write in? Fragrantica does another one. Okay. Best Gourmand, Angel Share by Killian. Again, why does it beat Altair if Altair's already won the other category? Like, I'm not like, go Altair. I think it's a good fragrance. I don't think it's the greatest fragrance ever. I'm just curious how Altair can win in these and not others. It's like a middle finger to Angel Share. Commer's great. Devotion number 4, Amor Cafe. 5, 6 is Lamal Elixir again. 7's Vanille Havon. Best Gourmand. What other Gourmand stuff to add? I mean, you could add a Wojan for sure. Performance not great, which Honor and Power by Lattafa is a very common fragrance. I'm surprised Spice Bomb's not on this either, on any list. It's not on any single list. Interesting. Okay. Best white floral fragrance. I don't know what that means. Number 1 is Reflection 45. I've never tried it, and I don't even understand what this category means. So, number 2 is L'Interdit. 3 is Blanche Bete Les Liquids Imaginaires. 4 is Libri Intense. 5 is Golden Tower. 6 is La Stachio. And 7 is Guilty Elixir. Interesting. Okay. Best manly fragrance since 2020. That's a very weird way to put that. Guess since 2020. Okay. Sauvage Elixir. I really don't like Sauvage Elixir, so I'm not the person to ask on this. Number 2 is Le Male de Parfum. Great fragrance. 3 is Gentleman Reserve Privé. Never has impressed me. I like Givenchy. I understand why it's in this category, though. It's very masculine fragrance. 4 is Dior Homme. Terry Hermes. Givry Hermes. 6 is Ombre Leather. Gross. 7 is Imagination. Imagine best manly fragrance? That's weird. And then 8 is Aqua de Gio Parfum. 9 is Boss Bottled Elixir. And 10 is Stronger With You. That's not a masculine fragrance. Didn't you vote for it as best unisex fragrance? Stronger With You is not a masculine fragrance. Neither is Aqua de Gio Parfum. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have put a Sauvage Elixir on there, even a little bit. Since 2020, man, that is a weird qualifier. I'm not the person to ask because I really like unisex fragrances. Masculine fit. The only thing I could say is a Boss Bottled, and it's already on there, so I do not like really masculine fragrances, since most fragrances I have could be unisex, so I'm trying to think of one. It's not coming to me. Best women's fragrance of all time. Dior wins again, Hypnotic Poison. Number 2 is Coco Mademoiselle. 3 is Montgolan. 4 is Delina Exclusive. Delina is setting the world on fire here. 5 is Libri Intense. Of all time, really? Okay. 6, Alien by Mugler. 7 is Shalima Parfum, another Golan. No to all of those. I mean, yeah, it's fine that they're on there. I'm just surprised not seeing other ones. The Opium over Red, and what's the other one? Neither of those made their appearance on here. It's interesting. Okay. Best men's fragrance of all time. You gotta be kidding me. Dior Homme Intense. Of all time? Really? Of all time? I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here. What about Sauvage? One of the highest grossing selling fragrances of all time. What about Aqua de Gio, which isn't even on this list? What about CK1, which is not on this list? That's crazy, man. Of all time in the winter opposed to Dior Home Intense. That's a good fragrance. The of all time is what's really throwing me here. Okay, 2 is Bleu de Chanel. I've already said how I feel about that. Terre d'Hermès. 4 is Creed Aventus. 5 Dior Home is on there again. What? What is wrong with you, Fragrantica? What is wrong with you? Oh my gosh. I told you all. The only losers are going to be us. 6 is XJ1861. It's a good fragrance. 7 is Leighton. I definitely agree with that. And then because it's such a big... But again, why wasn't Naxos on Best Niche? Why wasn't Leighton on Best Niche? You're saying that this is the best fragrance of all time. And then you're saying the Best Niche was this Oud one. And there's no time limit on it. You have a 2023. You have multiple 2000. Most of it's 2023. It's just Fragrantica really screwed the pooch on this one, and they only gave you so many things to vote on, which is why you see such inconsistency. Number 8 is La Nuit de l'Homme. Number 9 is Le Male Le Parfum, and number 10 is Acqua di Gio Profumo. So Acqua di Gio does get its day in the sun there. You know what wasn't on there that should be? Calvin Klein Obsession. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. What do I think is the best men's fragrance of all time? Okay, I'm going off of a lot of different factors. Popularity alone says Sauvage should be on there, even though I don't care for Sauvage. Aventus, it's good to see that on there. Leighton, it's good to see that. It's good to see some Acqua di Gio on there. I'll say Leighton. Why not? Or I could say this. Maybe. But, okay, best niche fragrance of all time is Naxos. And then Ani makes its appearance as 3. L'air du Desert. Moroccan Tower. I have no idea what that is. 4 is Musk Ravager. Again, we're back to Uncle Ken doing home brews in the basement. And not even in the basement, in a bathroom, in a half-finished bathroom of an unfinished basement. That is where these fragrances are made. 5 is Portrait of Lady Frederick. 6 is Au Coeur du Desert Tower. And 7 is Gris Charnel. Alexandria is on there by Xerjoff, as well as Hasselblad. Interesting. But again, best niche fragrance of all time. So you have the best men's fragrance of all time being Dior. But what about Aventus? And Parfums de Marly is not listed as a niche house. It's just incredible. Just such a broad oversight. Like, I know these... It's just the thing that gets me is that the Fragrantica put these out like, look at our super serious polls. Look at these super serious answers we got. It's like, no, this is idiotic the way that they put this survey together. Okay. Best fragrance marketing. Why is this an award? Who cares? Who cares who had the best fragrance marketing? Is that why you buy it? Oh, well, I feel like that one was marketed better. No. Johnny Depp did a better job. How dare you? Channing Tatum killed it on that. Okay. You go and you spend your money on fragrance marketing, it just makes the price of the fragrance that much more expensive. I don't care about your marketing. Okay. The winner, Le Male. Okay. Number 2. Jean Paul Gaultier gets the top 3. Wow. Sadanaso Nasamato. What even is this? I'm just skipping this. That was a weird, confusing, unnecessary, and a waste of time. Okay. This is like when we're going to see the obscure categories that never should have been categories. The worst fragrance marketing, I have to bring back my past point. Who cares? And why are we on this? Fight, Fight, Fight Cologne for Men by President Trump. 2 is another Trump one. 3 is another Trump one. What's funny is that the people that voted on this act like he had anything to do with it at all. Like, I'm gonna hurt Trump by voting on this. He has no idea. He even probably has a fragrance line. None of these people do. There's Nicki Minaj. She might not even know she has a fragrance line. But again, it's such a stupid category. Oh, there's another Trump one. So 4. Guys, this is such a waste of time. Okay. Best fragrance fruits. I don't mind that one. Pacific Chill. I need to try Pacific Chill. It's winning tons of stuff with this weird snow standing on top of a rock with iris next to it. Okay. 2, God of Fire. God of Fire is really good, yo. God of Fire is really good. Burberry Her, number 3. 4 is Kusami Filippo Sorcinelli. What a name. If I had a name like that, I'd have a fragrance company as well. Number 5 is Athenian James Healy. 6, LeBeau. LeBeau is pretty good. 7 is Lenteza Careza. Best fragrance fruits. I don't know what they're even referring to there. Are you asking what fragrance had the best fruit incorporation? Apple brandy on the rocks. Every fragrance has fruit incorporation. What are you talking about? Best fragrance fruits. Most fragrances have some sort of fruit. Herba pura. Most fragrances. Aventus, pineapple. Every fragrance I'm looking at right now on my table has fruit in it. Okay, that's okay. Best iris. I have met some people that hate iris, like can't stand iris, and they have to avoid every single fragrance that has iris. It's kind of funny. Not funny, but like, it's interesting to feel so passionate about. And now you can finally use that iris that's been pictured there. So, Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. It's a fine fragrance. I just don't like it that much. 2 is Le Male. 3 is Dior Homme. 4, Valentino Uomo. That's definitely a big iris bomb. 5 is Chris Charnel. 6 is Insolence. And 7 is Interlude. I have nothing really to say on that. Lost in the Amber Woods. Grand Soar. Baby Cat. Yeah, we're gonna skip over that. Best tobacco for. Okay, I can get down with this one. Vanille Havane. 2 is Tobacco Honey. 3 is Opus. 4, Royal Tobacco. 4 is Sundowner Tower. 5 is Vanille Havane. What? It won number 1 and number 5. That's impressive. I guess they have a different version of it. Number 6 is Reliquia. 7 is Red Tobacco. You can have Triumph of Bacchus. Tobacco Vanille. It's already won something else. That's a weird one. No, but I would need to try Vanille Havane to be able to give my 2 cents on that. Okay. You gotta be kidding me. I hate this fragrance. The winner is okay. Eau Forte. Got you. I was gonna say what? So, Eau Forte is a fragrance that I think was just released this year, yeah. And I don't understand the hatred that it's gotten. It's not a great fragrance, but I hate this fragrance. There is a fragrance out there called Secretions Magnifique, and its notes are literally sweat, blood, saliva, and semen. They call it the 4 S's. And Sauvage Eau Forte beats them all. I don't know. It's something about this release just triggered everybody. Baccarat Rouge, you gotta be kidding me. Baccarat Rouge 540, that's all everyone wants to talk about. They want to talk about Aventus, Baccarat, 540, and Savage. And Savage is number 1, and 2 is Baccarat. That's incredible. 3 is another Trump one, just because. Oh my gosh, it's so stupid. Like, politics aside, when you have people voting for this, I don't care who made this fragrance, and people are voting just because they don't agree with the person's politics, it just destroys your entire survey. Like, this entire thing is supposed to be about fragrances. People make it political. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. 4 is Herba Pura. I don't understand that at all. That is crazy to me. 5, 1 million. I do kind of get that. I get that a little bit. I don't like 1 million, but I don't hate it. It's a very strong badge. Like, number 1 for me would be Tuscan leather. I can't stand Tuscan leather, but I don't hate it. It literally makes me nauseous to be around. That's different. That should win, not Baccarat 540. That's crazy. 6 is La Vie. I'm not familiar with that one. 7 is another Trump one, because we just gotta throw that in. That's crazy, man. That they Fragrantica is so trash, man. 8 Sauvage Dior. It made it. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's how you know that they found the biggest fragrance snobs in the world and put Sauvage Dior. This is how you know this is not reflective of society, because you have Sauvage Dior, which is one of the most purchased fragrances in the world, and it's on a I hate this fragrance list. This is how you know this entire thing is a sham. And I don't like Sauvage Dior that much either, but this is not representative of the general population. Same thing with Baccarat 540. Everyone talks about Baccarat 540. 9 is Jupe. I get that for sure. Those are the type of fragrances they should be on here. 10 is 1 million gold. Rabanne. Yeah, number 1 for me would have to be Tuscan leather, and then there's a couple of them. Nautica Voyage, and I'll throw Jupe in there. Why not? I'll throw Jupe in there. Okay, the most boring fragrances for women. Prada Paradox, Virtual Flower. I don't know anything about that fragrance, but I do know that Vanilla Sex by Tom Ford bombed, and it bombed big. 3 is Good Girl. Blush. 4 is Miss Dior. 5 is All of Me. 6 is absolutely You Heretics. How dare you? Fame is a good fragrance. Blasphemy. 7 is La Vie. That's made its rounds. It's made its rounds a little. Interesting. Okay. God, this is wild, y'all. This is wild. I would maybe Cloud. Maybe I would say Cloud. Just because it's Baccarat. You know, it's the same. Or even Le Interdit Rouge. Because it's just builds off of Lintus. I don't know what you mean by boring, really. Okay. Most boring fragrance for men. Sauvage Eau Forte. Getting some hate again. Again, I don't know why the hate. I don't get it. But I have no dog in that fight. I'm not a Dior fanboy by any stretch of the imagination. So it's more when I'm curious. It's more just because I'm curious and not because I'm like, how dare you? No, I don't. I could care less. Interesting. Eau Forte. Number 2, 1 million gold Rabanne. Apparently, I need to try that. Apparently, it's not. It's getting some hate. Eros Energy by Versace is anything but boring. It's very energetic. It opens up very much like Aventus, and then the mids and the notes, the transformation it makes from Aventus to citrus, orange, lemon juice is really interesting. It is anything but boring. That should not be on that list. 4 is myself. This is so stupid. 5 is elixir. Idiotic that it's on that list. 6 is eau de parfum intense. Why? Maybe just because they think it's redundant, because it smells like just the regular eau de parfum. You have another Trump one in there because why not? If we have a chance to get a jab at a political figure, why not? It's absolutely crazy. 8 is Phantom Parfum. 9 is another Trump one. 10 is Bad Boy Cobalt. This is idiotic at this point. I feel like I'm losing brain cells at a world record pace. I don't know what you mean by most boring, but I'll say maybe something like Dior Sauvage, just because it's been done a lot. Anything that has like a strong bergamot and then a woodsy mid and maybe patchouli in the base, it's just going to be kind of boring just because it's been done a lot. None of these fragrances make sense to be on here. It makes no sense. Best fragrance photo. I'm not. What? Best photos of fragrances? Why is this even a category? Okay. This is crazy. Gosh, that was painful. Let's look up some of these comments because we're gonna see some hate going on here. I'm just gonna read some of them and then probably have to edit them a lot in post-production. Zoologist Perfumes Rabbit is the fragrance I most love this year, so I'm glad I got to mention. Okay, so that was positive. That's not interesting at all. Someone decided to post the categories and the winners. Is this someone that works with Fragrantica? What? Someone actually went and did this on their own time. Bro, you got too much time. If you were going and you were adding in all of the winners, you have way too much time. Wow. Oh my gosh, that was like a freaking book. Good for you. David says there's no way that women voted for Ventus as one of their favorite fragrances. Yeah, I get that. 100%. David was triggered twice. How on earth did Altair do so well in so many of the categories? It's one of the most basic and boring fragrances I've ever smelled. David, you are 100% wrong on that, buddy. People love Altair. And sometimes basic doesn't mean boring. We just said that. You take black spice or spice and black vanilla. It's 3 notes and it is one of the greatest fragrances for under $20 you can buy. Partisan says best fragrance photos to your HP. I'm speechless. I don't even know what that means. Aventus Junkie says, can someone with behind the scene knowledge explain why? Oh, okay, they just wanted to know. Naxos undoubtedly deserves a top spot. So, not a lot of some triggering there. Apparently they do a really bad job of pulling these people in the surveys. They give you specific fragrances and then they give you the option to be write-ins, but obviously people are not going to go and write in. That's crazy. People are just going to pick what their options are. Lamb Chop says most of them, not all that won, are ultra boring and uninspiring. Okay. Someone is just being cringe. A lot of cringe stuff going on. Oh, okay. No, we have a super triggered comment here. 13-year-old connoisseur writes, guys, today we gotta learn the difference between good fragrances and best fragrance. Why is YSL Myself EDP in the top 10 best men's fragrances of the year? A citrus and white floral scent. Same with Aqua de Gio Parfum. Okay. Try to stand out from the bunch with your own little gems and refrain from letting TT be where you get all your fragrance knowledge. Bro, that's crazy. That's such a limited way of thinking that everybody wants, like, lamb stew on goat cheese under the moon, laying on a bed of iris to be their niche scent. Like, some people don't like that. Some people don't want freaky fragrances. Sometimes they just want simple fragrances. AFC Croatian says, I'm baffled at how Lamal Elixir got the second best male fragrance. Genuinely one of the most difficult scents I tried last year. What do you mean difficult scents? What does that mean? You couldn't get out of the bottle? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand. Yeah, there's a lot of triggered people. But here's the thing, man. These Fragrantica just did a horrible job of polling people. That's all it is. So people are going to naturally put forth a lot of low effort, and they're going to be open to suggestion. And so if you limit their ability, even if you put write-ins, you're not going to get write-ins. People are just going to vote for what they see. God, that was stupid. A couple of those I agree with, but man, that was interesting. That was an interesting experience. Some of those I agree with, and a lot of them I'm just indifferent with. There was only a couple that I'm like, that is idiotic. But they're gonna have to do something about that. People just going in and voting for Trump or different fragrances that have political ideologies. There's a couple in there that involved, I guess, the LGBT community there, and I guess it got some hate as well. I don't know if it was because of the fragrance, but I don't know. It just seemed like people were voting based off of, oh, I don't like that message, so I'm gonna just go ahead and downvote it. It just makes it the whole thing. You look at it and you're like, okay, so now I know I don't take this seriously. So, but it's fun. Like, if you look at it for fun, that's one thing, but you can't look at it to be like serious. The problem is so many people go to Fragrantica for their suggestions, so I can only imagine how many people go there and are like, oh, that one best in this, I'll just go buy it. And then of course it's fun to look at all the people who are triggered by it. So I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Till then, be well.